All right, and I think we're live. Well,
Rock on, YouTube.
welcome to another episode of Campfire Chat. Hopefully, we'll be able to get through this one without any issues. But tonight we have Windham Woodcraft, Chris.
Hey, bet on me. The odds are 20 to 1. Howdy, folks.
We got myself and Pennsylvania Shane.
Hello, everyone. Rock on.
And I believe tonight we're going to be talking about bushcraft and what it means to us or what it means to you. I just want to start by saying I heard the term bushcraft about 3 or 4 years ago.
Hold on, Daryl. I messed something up. Sorry about that.
Did you break?
Nothing. I just started up the video chat so everyone could hear you 2 times.
All right. Well,
Sorry.
about 3 or 4 years ago, I did a lot of YouTube searching for camping and camp cooking, and started coming across there'd be random bushcraft videos in there, like shelters and tarps and stuff like that. And I never really considered myself a bushcrafter per se, but I was in the Boy Scouts for years and years, and a lot of the stuff that we did in Boy Scouts was what they call bushcraft now, but we didn't call it bushcraft. You know, building fires, cooking over the fires, building shelters, you know, going out there with your saws and your axe and your knife, and just minimalized the stuff that you had around you to make your camp better. I think that for me, I think that bushcraft is in the last few years has become really interested in me, and I do a lot more research on it. And I'm by far no good spoon or fork carver like my friend Chris here. And
Wah, wah.
one of the things I really liked is I seen Shane's video on making walking sticks. And when you did that video on walking sticks, it perked my interest to like start doing some of my own.
Awesome.
And I think, you know, that's a part of bushcraft too. I really my big interest in bushcraft is the fire steels, using the fat wood, the birch bark, the hobo stoves, like bushcraft cooking. That's what piques my interest a lot in the whole bushcraft scene. So I'll just comment along the way, and we'll go down the line here and see what Chris has to say.
Me? I don't ever have anything to say. I don't know what you mean. So, yeah. By the way, Shane, your video on the carvings that you have done, that's awesome, and it really inspired me to start keeping an eye open when I go out in the woods for walking sticks, because that's something I used to do all the time. So thank you.
You're welcome. Awesome.
Yeah, a little inspiration. But yeah, I mean, I guess a lot like Daryl. I mean, I guess whenever we're talking about bushcraft, it immediately makes me think of like my youth, and growing up in Maine, which is it's woods. It's all woods. I live really close to LL Bean, and that whole heritage, the outdoorsman heritage, and did tons of camping in the woods with the kids from my neighborhood, and wild camping, if you will. And for us, I mean, we didn't even call it camping; we call it adventuring. It was take your little bag, or you might even just be using your bedroll, and throw a can of beans in there and your knife and your bale of twine and just head out into the woods for the night. Of course, that was a different age when the parents didn't really care if you were just going out into the woods, and they're like, all right, have fun, see you in the morning. But in any case, obviously, the word bushcraft has become like a major buzzword nowadays, and it has lots and lots of people interested in it, and it really encompasses a huge amount of subject matter, if you will. But it was kind of funny. I was reading through my feed today, and there was an interesting article that popped up about the word bushcraft. And so what I wanted to share with you guys a little bit, and this is the best that I can tell you about, my knowledge of the word bushcraft and what I would consider to be, true bushcraft, and that is this publication. It's called Bushcraft. I can't read it through my screen. The Ultimate Guide to Survival in the Wilderness, and it's by Richard Graves. Now, this book was originally published in 1972, and it's just chock full of the best type of learning that you can ever get. And it's nothing, there's nothing too fancy about it, because the publication was predated any kind of fancy photography or whatever. So there's lots of hand-drawn pictures and diagrams and such. But Richard Graves, he was one of the head guys in the Australian Jungle Rescue Detachment assigned to the Far East American Air Force. With his fellow soldiers, he conducted more than 300 successful rescues. For more than 20 years, Graves ran a bushcraft school and wrote more than 10 classic books on the topic, including the Bushcraft handbooks. He died in 1971. So, I don't have any type of proof that he, coined the phrase bushcraft, but being an Australian and talking about the bush, the outback, that's what they, the term that they use down there, and some of the crazy crafts that he did, if he didn't, he did more to bring the word bushcraft to the forefront of modern day than anyone I've ever been able to find. And this book is just chock full of, there's a huge section on how he made cordage, how he went into the wilderness, and they like literally made, for real life, like suspension bridges and shelters, and this book is just loaded with all these like hand drawn pictures and information that you can just go out into the woods and do, and I have absolutely loved it. The book was free on the internet because the copyright had run out. I downloaded it and put it in a 3-ring binder about, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and since then a publishing company in 2013 bought the rights, and now you can buy the book on Amazon. And Shane, you said it was also available for the Kindle, I believe.
Yeah, I just looked it up. They're selling it on paperback for like $12.95, and it's, I think, $9.99 for the Kindle.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you could probably find it on an iPhone too.
Oh, I'm sure. Download the app. But I didn't want to go into a big plug about that, that book and how you should run out and buy it. But if you're looking for a publication that has some real basic, down and dirty, skill building stuff in it, that was, it's one of the forefathers of modern day bushcrafters for sure. I would put him in the same category as Moores and the like. So, you know, I mean, I would say it's definitely worth a look anyway. But, you know, for me, the thing that, you know, really, you know, has changed for me since I was a kid, and as far as bushcraft is concerned, is the use of ropes and cordage, and like everybody is kind of like obsessed with, you know, paracord and all the crazy awesome things you can weave out of it, and then bank line, and you know, I just grabbed a few bundles. Not that this is, you know, the best photography ever, but you know, this little bundle right here is 50 feet of paracord. You know, about the size of your fist, and you know, we all know paracord with 50 feet of rope, which, you know, I didn't have paracord when I was a kid. 50 feet of the cordage that I had, that wasn't just twine, like took up my whole backpack. You know, and here you got something that'll suspend almost 600 pounds. You know, but more recently, I've adapted to using almost all bank line. This one here is number 60 bank line, has a break strength of almost 300. And this is everybody's favorite number 36 bank line. Now this is tarred bank line, tarred Mariners bank line, which you know, it's very common for me locally because it's used by fishermen. I'm only, you know, 7 miles from the Atlantic Ocean, but you know, that's basically what bushcraft has kind of morphed into for me, is really the use of you know, these cordages and kicking the old tent out of the backpack and going to just like the Silnai tarps. This is one of those $10 Walmart. What is it? It's a 5x7 tarp. It fits in this bag. It weighs nothing. It literally can go into your haversack, and you have a waterproof Silnai, you know, tarp for $10. I mean, you can't go wrong. So I mean, just having it as that little extra added shelter, and you know, I mean, there's just something a little bit I don't know, magical about heading out into the woods with such a small bundle of stuff and setting up shop, and you know, setting up your bedroll, setting up your tarp, setting up, you know, your little cooking arrangement over the fire and all that. And that's, I mean, that's basically what I consider to be, you know, bushcrafting. And you know, I don't want to continue on and you know, bore you guys all to death. So I mean, for me, that really is, you know, what bushcraft means, going maybe a little bit more onto the primitive side, like Daryl had mentioned, maybe, you know, doing the primitive fire lighting methods, and gathering resources out while you're out in the woods or whatever your local area is, and taking less in with you. And I just, you know, I've absolutely been, you know, overjoyed with all the stuff that I've learned from YouTube and other YouTubers and channels out there. So anyway, I'm gonna zip my lip and take a drink here, and I'll send it over to you, Mr. Shane.
All right, it's about time. Just kidding. Well, I guess I'm kind of got a little bit of both of what you guys both just said. I never really had even considered bushcraft until the last few years, maybe. All the survival shows and everything that started becoming popular, and this whole explosion came, kind of opened my eyes to the bushcraft thing. When I was a kid, I've kind of come full circle here, actually, now that I'm back in Pennsylvania, because when I was a kid, I spent all my time outside, and like you said, it was back when your parents really didn't care. You know, you could just be out there all day long, and I would spend all my time in the woods just building forts, making fires, going fishing, all that kind of stuff. And then I stopped for a long time. When I got a little bit older, in my teens, when I was in Illinois, I got the other side of camping. Well, I don't even think you'd call it camping. Some people do, but traveling in a motorhome. My grandfather had a motorhome, and in the summers I would travel with him, and we'd always stop at KOAs and other campgrounds that he was members at, and I would just run around there doing the same kinds of things. And now that I'm back here, it's kind of sparked my interest once again. And as far as bushcraft goes, I think the term is way, way, way overused. I don't want to make anybody upset, I guess, but I think that bushcraft to me, what it actually means is kind of like what that book you showed is. It has less to do with camping, or maybe even nothing to do with camping. That is a part of it, but more to just getting out there and making what you need on your own. I always, when I think about this, it makes me think of Ray Mears, if you guys are familiar with him. And that guy is just incredible. That's what I consider bushcraft. When you can go out, I mean, if you're that good at it, you could go out with nothing. You can use stones to make a cutting edge. You can use the natural plants to make your cordage. You can do all of that kind of stuff without anything. To me, that's true bushcraft, because you're basically making something out of nothing. You're knowing how to survive on your own. Now, with all that said, I know that I do have bushcraft in the description. Sorry, my daughter's running in here. What's up? In the description of my channel, and I put that up there because she wants to say hi. Because I do want to learn these things. Can you say hello?
Hello.
Say hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
She's so happy.
She is. She's always happy. But yeah, I think the term is overused, and it's getting, with Bear Grylls and all these other kind of things, it's kind of getting out of hand, to be honest, or getting away from what it really should be. I do think it's a part of all of us and all of our channels. We all do some of it. But yeah, like I said, I guess I'm more of a realist too, with kind of getting back to the basics and doing things with your hands, like you've done, Chris, when you show your shelter that you built, the super shelter and the chairs and all of that kind of stuff. And as far as like my favorite thing that I've learned so far, I'm with Daryl. I just absolutely love the fire making aspect of it. There's just something about it, making a fire. My whole life I think I've said it before, I was always the one that would make the fire for the family or for camping or whatever. But now I know I really didn't know what the heck I was doing. I didn't understand it completely, but now learning these basic skills and what you really need to make a fire in any situation is just incredibly fun to me. Anyway, I guess that's about it as far as bushcraft goes for me.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. I definitely couldn't agree with you more, man. And also in the bushcrafting world, all right, couple of quick shout outs. Who do we got in the chat? We got Jennifer Young, Fox Company Prepping. Hey man, all the way from Scotland. Bruce, Northwest Nature Calls. Mikey D. And who else we got in there? Well, I'll mess up and I'll ruin the chat if I start clicking on buttons here.
Fisherman Guy 44 is in there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, my chat keeps on freezing up, so I'm gonna try to pay a little bit more attention to what's going on here. But hey, I think I see a Deep South panel member.
Got in late.
That's all good, brother. Glad you could join us, man.
Got on pretty easy too.
We're getting better. We're getting better.
We're learning
Phelan
this
wants
chat.
to know this, Chris. You recognize this one?
Hey, that does look awfully familiar. Shane and his daughter.
I have these pants.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Yes. How you doing,
But yeah.
Stan?
I'm fine. How are you, Shane?
I'm doing well.
Daryl?
Nice.
How you doing, Stan? So, Stan, we were going down the line here, and we were talking about um, bushcraft a little bit, what it means to us, how we got into it, things like that. Would you like to share your experience? Maybe how
Well,
you started getting into it, and
I was born into it. My whole family's been doing this for. I mean, I grew up in Mississippi, and the name of my channel is a Deep South Experience for a reason, because it really is a lifestyle, and I grew up in it, and my dad and his brothers, I mean, they're real cowboys, and that's what they did for a living, besides run a farm, and hunting and fishing and doing the kind of things we did. It's just part of me growing up. So I mean, it really is. It's a lifestyle for me, and that's why I call it Deep South Experience. It's taking me a minute. It's taking me a minute to get my thoughts in. Just jumping on here. I wasn't expecting to go straight into discussion without thinking about it.
oh, that's cool. I mean, I think that your idea of it was kind of like mine. When I grew up and we did stuff in the woods and we camped and we're in Boy Scouts and everything, we didn't call it bushcraft back then. It was just us going out and building forts and shelters and experimenting with the wilderness and everything. And so I think that's the same as like I grew up.
It's a lot of difference from we had a pretty large farm, but at the same time, because of Vietnam, it really disrupted my family life. My dad went to Vietnam, and then right there, my whole life changed, because then I went back into the city and moved in with my grandmother and grandfather. And my grandmother and my aunt were sisters, and my grandfather and grand uncle were brothers. So it was two brothers and two sisters that married, and that was a very, very unique situation. And they lived almost next door to each other. And my uncle became so much like a surrogate father to me. And my great grandfather was a blacksmith. And I guess I could credit my great uncle for teaching me anything as far as bushcraft. First thing he taught me how to make was a bird trap. And I'm sure y'all seen that, the square bird trap that's almost like a pyramid, tied together. You see them on YouTube a lot. But he taught me how to do that when I was very young. That was probably my first bushcraft thing. But we didn't call it bushcraft. I mean, we just called it going to the woods, or we're going camping, or we're going to the woods. But for somebody that's growing up in town, that's not really used to Dallas City, I could see where that would be different for them. I don't know what I'm saying. I hadn't had sat down and had my first cup of coffee or cigarette
Well, it's all making sense to me, so I guess strange minds think alike, brother. Yeah, that shirt is awesome.
Agreed. That's an awesome shirt. I want one.
Thedoors.com. That's where I get all my Doors t-shirts, is from the website.
Cool.
People are strange when you're a stranger.
Yeah. They're pretty damn strange anyway, man, if you want to.
No doubt about it. Oh, Mr. Scooty's in the house.
I just saw that.
That's cool.
Hey, Mike. There's kind of a delay between us talking, looking here, and seeing what's going on the computer. I had to turn the sound off there because it was confusing me.
Yeah, my computer is, or my chat anyway. I'm trying to keep up on the chat, and it's just so glitched out. Like, it's just so slow. I'm not getting the any. I'm getting it like 2 minutes after someone types it or something. But I just wanted to go back real quick and just make a point. Fox Company prepping. He typed something to the effect of, a man once said, I'm still a kid at heart. I go into the woods and build dens. But because I'm a grown-up now, they call it prepping. And that's an interesting point, because the whole prepping community on YouTube and the bushcrafting community are definitely one and the same. Like you were saying earlier, Stan, and well, actually, we all basically said it. We related it to our childhood, where I called it, going out and having a woodland adventure, and when you grow up and you're doing those things, you have to put a title to it. And I think a lot of the prepping kind of culture, not the extremist type of prepping, but just being prepared, being ready, so to speak, that kind of just comes hand in hand with a lot of what people who enjoy going out into the wilderness or camping, fishing, hunting, and they just go, the wilderness self-reliance. There you go. In that way of prepping, bushcraft, is a huge tool in being self-reliant when you go out into the woods, or whatever your local environment is. And
we also called it work. There was a fine line between some of that stuff becoming fun and pure D work, So, because a lot of that my family did for subsistence, What we do for hobbies now, we were doing for subsistence back then. Like, hunting and fishing wasn't for recreation; it was for putting food on the table.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny to think about that too, because honestly, if you're looking at like a timeline, we're not that far removed from when that was commonplace all the way across this country, and now it is just, say the last 40 years or so, it's almost disappeared. I don't want to say that, but it's just so much less prevalent.
Yeah, but you let the power grid go down for a couple of weeks and see what happens.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
And then that's where the prepping comes back into it, and we go back to the old ways.
Yep. I guess I'll take this opportunity to shout out another chat that happens, that I caught this past Saturday. General Banter, the Informed State of Mind chat. He's kind of retooled it to discuss a little bit more. Instead of being an informed state of mind, he lays it out a lot better. Go over to Luke's channel and check out the video and the announcement that he did. But he's now going with more of a prepared state of mind chat, and they talked a lot of and there's just some good people. There's some good panel members. Well, Jen Young, she's on there, but there's some really good conversation happening over there on Saturday, 7:30 Eastern, I believe it is.
I'm excited about that chat too. I was one of the original panel members when he first started it with Jennifer Young, and kind of the same thing as her. It got political real quick, and I kind of stayed away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I don't know. There's nothing wrong with that, and there is, like he says, there is a place for it, but I just didn't want to get involved. But I'm definitely going to get back on when I can on this one, because, yeah, he's a great guy, has a great channel, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
And I think he's going to start, he's getting away from the politics. I think that's his whole thing. He wanted to get back into the things that he liked. And I think he kind of said, kind of curved its way into like the politics and everything, and he wanted to get back to, how it started.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said he wants to do. Get back to, say, being prepared, basically. Not necessarily prepping, but kind of like what Stan Deep South just said. What are you going to do? Or see what happens when the power grid goes down. That's where the whole prepping aspect comes in. You don't have to be a hardcore, have 10 years of food storage in your basement, but you do, I think, and I agree with him, need to be prepared and be in that state of mind to where you know exactly what you're going to do. And I heard, I know this is probably getting off of our chat, but I watched some of it, and I think it was Prepper Mike said it, which I thought was awesome and a good idea, is sometime plan it with your family. If you have a family, if you don't, if you're on your own, that's fine too, but come home from work, say Friday, go to your power box and just shut it off.
Yep.
And then don't touch it again until, say, Monday morning or Sunday night before you go to bed. And keep a checklist or keep a notebook with you and just write down, what you learn, because that could easily happen to anyone. And if you do something like that when you don't have to, you're going to learn what you need to have around, what you don't have around, what's necessary, what's not. And I spoke with my wife Jenny about it after that chat, and we're actually going to plan it and do it in the next few weeks before the kids get back to school, because I want them to be a part of it. Even though they're probably going to have stroke, panic attack, because they won't be able to play their video games. But anyway,
Yeah,
I thought
no
that was a great idea, and I wanted to throw it out again to these people if nobody had seen that chat, because I think it's something to consider doing.
And
Yeah, most definitely.
I think it's a good future chat for us too, because I mean, prepping doesn't have to be like Shane said, 10 years of food in your basement and everything. It's just, here I'm going to get stuck in the wintertime somewhere with my truck. It's going to happen. It happens every year when we get snow, and it's nice to have extra blankets, extra clothes, and stuff like that. And I think a lot of people enjoy, chats and stuff like that. People learn a lot of stuff by talking with each other about it.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And maybe as it pertains a little bit more about our discussion with Bushcraft, you want to reserve your resources in a situation, of need like that. And, hey, cooking outside on a fire, or like Stan had mentioned, hunting for your food, or, maybe, in a, not just like losing your power, but, being forced to, head out into the wilderness for a minute, that bushcrafting thing comes back around again. Those core skills of the wilderness. So it's definitely it all ties together. It all ties together real well. Trying to update my chat here so I can see what people are saying. Sorry.
Mr. Scooty's bushcraft. Preppers have a house full of tin and dried food. Bushcrafters can survive outdoors, building shelters, foraging for food. And I would love to go out in the woods with a tarp and a knife and an axe. And right now, I mean, maybe in the springtime or the fall time, it'd be a possibility. But if I tried that here in Southwest Michigan, the bugs would kill you. I mean, it'd be, I guess, more miserable than enjoyment of going out and doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, having the proper, cover elements when you go out, especially in Maine too. I mean, I think if you look at a latitude line, Daryl, you and I are pretty close. Our woods might have different trees in them, but the climate is the same. And yeah, you'll get carried away. So definitely being prepared. Now I'm going to open up Pandora's box here for just 2 seconds, because it's not something that I've talked to any of you panel members about, I guess. not extensively anyway, but one of the main channels that kind of got me into looking at bushcraft, primitive skills, self-reliance, woodland self-reliance. Does anyone know where I'm going to go with this? Is going to be Wilderness Outfitters. And I was just wondering, not so much about the man himself, Mr. Dave Canterbury, but what you guys think about the concepts of the Pathfinder system with your 5 C's. I mean, that's pretty much a given. He wasn't the first one to mention that, you need a knife, you need some cordage in a container and a cover element, but so on and so forth. But I used to watch that channel a ton, and I learned a ton because it's very instructional, if you will. Do any of you guys have any of that past experience with the Pathfinder system stuff?
Yeah, I actually forgot when I was talking to mention that, and Dave, because that is honestly, I guess, kind of like you. When those shows started coming out, I found that Pathfinder school shortly after that, and I'll agree with you. I think what he teaches is great, and I have learned a lot from him too. As far as Dave goes now, that could be a whole nother discussion. Personally, I'm honestly not sure where I stand with him right now, but it does seem like since his little controversy happened, his channel, his school, whatever, is kind of taken a hit, and even his personality on those videos seems a little bit different. But yeah, I'm with you. I've learned a lot from him, and that's one of the first channels I found that I learned, about bushcraft.
What I found with Dave's stuff is when I was watching it, there was a lot of stuff that I was interested in, as far as not everything, but there were select videos that I like to watch. But he did some stuff with alcohol and medicinal plants, where he'd crush up the plants, and they could be used for repelling mosquitoes or stomach aches or anti-vomiting, whatever. And I thought that was a pretty cool line of stuff that he did. I don't follow him as much as I used to. I think I spend all my time trying to catch up on all your guys' videos.
Yes, getting back to it comes around full circle. Just trying to keep up with your buddies on YouTube has definitely cut down my ability to be able to watch the bigger channels like his. And yeah, I mean, I agree. I think we're probably pretty much in agreement with that. Everything that he did, he had probably, I don't know, 400 videos on YouTube prior to going commercial, if you will, and I mean, that's going to change anyone, and you can't fault him for trying to want to grow his own brand and everything. And that's, again, that's another whole story. But some of the core knowledge that he had back when he was just kind of more like you or I, running around in the woods with a video camera and having fun and showing his skills. I mean, that was good stuff. But yeah, I definitely learned a lot and apply those skills regularly.
I agree.
Now, the stuff that Stan that you did with a pine sap, I mean, that was pretty. That was really cool. That was when you started doing that video, I thought, oh my God, he's going to have one big mess on his hand. But I mean, that stuff cleaned up pretty good out of your containers and everything.
Yeah, it was surprising. It gets brittle, and once it gets brittle, it comes loose pretty easily. And then the residue, and then once it dries, it's not sticky at all. And cleanup, Luke had with Alzheimer's disease. Oh man,
Oh, the isopropyl.
Banner had told me using isopropyl alcohol, and you just got to scrub a little bit. Now, you have to use straight isopropyl alcohol. If you use a gel like a hand sanitizer, you end up with gunk. It just turns into a goo. But if you use straight isopropyl alcohol, it works really good, especially because you need like a knife or something to scrape the sap off the tree. And so that's really good for cleaning your knife up and your utensils. I was more worried about spilling the stuff on me and getting like a tarred and feathered, you know. I mean, that stuff. And it was difficult filming with an iPhone or videoing with the iPhone alone. And I had so many cuts in that last one because I was trying to make it show everything that was important of how I was doing it, but not make it long. And that one time I forgot to turn the phone off, you know, that cost me like 2 minutes or more right there. But I learned a lot.
It was a great view.
Yeah. Yeah, it showed a lot of yard work that I hadn't finished, that started and hadn't finished too. I've got 2 more episodes that I'm going to do of that with plans. But that'll be one is just basically making the glue, which, you know, a lot of people have done. But, you know, I use 2 different methods, and then I've got one other kind of surprise video I'm going to do.
What exactly do you use the glue for that you were talking about? The pine pitch glue?
Most of the time, I mean, you know, most of the time that glue was used in the past to like reinforce sinew around arrowheads and around flint knives and things like that. That was the purpose. I mean, that was what Indians used as their super glue. I mean, there's tons of other purposes for it, but I think those are the main ones.
Yep, gluing tools together.
Okay, awesome.
Now, Chris had made me the glue with the charcoal and the deer poop, I think it was.
Right.
Deer poopies.
Deer poopies, and for the fibers and everything, and I haven't used it yet. I want to see how it works on, because you're always breaking the end of your fishing pole, putting new tips on. And I want to see how well that works. I mean, how well a glue it is, how it bonds and everything. I think that was really cool.
That's what I'm gonna do with one of the videos. I'm actually gonna do some redneck lab test.
Very cool, Stan. Can't wait to see them.
Yep. We love redneck craft.
I am gonna make the glue, and I mean I'll show it, not to copy Chris or anything, but I mean that is pretty much the standard recipe for the glue, and I'm gonna be doing it probably the exact same way that Chris did.
Well, I was.
But what?
Yeah, go ahead, Stan. Sorry.
Go ahead. No.
Well, I was just gonna say I was.
The only difference. that time lag kills us. The only difference is I'm going to test the 2 different glues and try to figure out which one was stronger. You know, the one I just melted down plain or the one that I refined through the sieve, you know, with the volatiles and without the volatiles. I want to see which one is stronger. And I kind of want to get a benchmark of what that glue is.
Yeah. I was going to say that I was intrigued by your video because, again, the way that I made it is just the way that I'd seen it on YouTube and I'd read, you know, in a few different places, and it was very impromptu. And what I was kind of simulating for myself was what it would be like to make it on the fly out in the woods. Whereas you're doing it more of like, you know, trying to make something really high quality at a base camp scenario that would have, you know, the best possible outcome. Which, you know, I've never done that. I've never made it in such a controlled environment. You were being much more precise and And I was really grooving on that.
Well, what you're talking about would be like the first method and I learned that one from Pondwood CH. I think that one would be more on the fly, where you actually just melt it down. I don't know how you saw it, but if you collect it off the tree, you're going to get a lot of bark in there, and I think the bark would act totally different than a fiber. I think it'd be more of an impurity than a binder itself, like the rabbit pellets or the deer pellets would be. I think it would weaken it instead of strengthening it. But the first method, I think, would be more useful on the fly, and then the second one would be more useful, and I'm thinking, in theory, it'd be stronger in the field.
Yeah, no doubt. I just wanted to, I can remember the day that I did it. I just wanted to challenge myself to see how quickly I could collect the materials and actually make it. Like, say, I just got back to camp. I broke my spear. Now I got to make a new one. I need some glue. How quick can I make it? And so it was definitely not a recipe to follow, precisely as far as an instructional thing. But it was a fun thing to do. So that's why, I'm just really. Oh, go ahead.
How did you make yours? I mean,
well,
as far as you just melt it down in something, or did you clean it or try to get all the chunks of bark out, or what?
Well, and I was very lucky that the sap that I had found was pretty pure. It didn't have bark in it. It had been on the tree long enough to get that coating of pollen and whatever else air particles are floating around that stick to the sap, and it starts to get that hard carapace over the top of it. But there wasn't any bark necessarily in there. I was pretty careful about that. But yeah, then just melting it down, letting some of the extra volatiles kind of melt off, if you will, and then as soon as I got the right consistency, to add the crushed up charcoal and the dried up deer droppings. But again, I was just like going, okay, here's a handful, and here's a handful. There was no recipe or actual measuring involved.
No, did you discover that those fumes were volatile?
Yes, I did. And what's kind of funny is I found the video. For some reason, the video was turned off. I must have clicked on it by accident. I don't remember if I turned it back on, but in the video, and I was only using this little tinfoil tray about this big. So when it lit up, I was just able to give it a good blow and poof it out. But yeah, you got to be careful. That's for sure.
Well, I had too much in there to poof it out. I wished I would have had it on video. I mean, it flared up, and then I went to blow it. I tried to blow it out, and when I did, it shot up about another 1.5 feet. And what was funny about that time was the siren started. It's like I think Beth was in the back giggling or something like that, but you could hear a fire truck going down the road about the same time that happened, so it was just kind of ironic.
Yeah, your neighbor's standing at the window going, I don't know what he's doing, but there's 4.5-foot flames shooting off his deck.
I had something similar to that happen to me last weekend, maybe. I was out in my little barn, and I was melting some wax to make those fire starters, like what Piper Outdoors makes. And I had it on alcohol stove that I made. And I walked, it's like, I don't know, 15 feet from my door right here. I walked in here to grab something and went back out there, and the wax had caught on fire because it was so hot, and the aluminum pot started to melt. So I had freaked out, grabbed my multi-tool, tried to grab it. It got off that, but it flew down onto the floor, so I had flaming wax all over the floor. It was a mess. I mean, I got it out within a few seconds, but it scared the hell out of me there for a bit. Wish I would have had the camera rolling then.
I was just going to say that. I'm like, why can't we get this type of stuff on film, One of the off subject of flame, but when I shot my SV to Mr. Scooty, his 500 sub, I had this little chair that I got. It's made in Maine, but the thing is really tippy. So you got to be careful. And if you're on soft ground like I was, and one side of it sinks in, and you don't have your balance, man, you're going down. And I went literally ass right over tea kettle backwards. With luckily I hadn't poured my tea yet or my cup, but it was like, you know, it would have been like a blooper of all bloopers to see. Like I'm just chatting to Scott on the camera, and all of a sudden, ah! We got to get more stuff like that on film.
There you go.
Maybe that's something we could. Maybe that's something we could do for a chat or a back. You know, whatever our bushcraft disasters were, our worst bushcraft disaster.
I know
Or
living
injury.
survival on my last the chat that I did to test my computer, or oh, actually I don't remember. I think that might have been the chat. But in any case, he said that he was in his boat and his camera and his tripod bloop, over the side of the boat and into the water, and it wasn't his GoPro, so he was bumming. That's a bushcraft disaster right there, or a YouTube disaster, I should say.
Well, wife woman says those aren't disasters. A hurricane's a disaster. But anyway, did anybody I don't know what y'all watched on TV, but do any of y'all remember, or did y'all watch Bill Dance? And then he used to always Bill Dance fishing, and he used to always do his outtakes of him falling out of the boat or really screwing up.
Getting attacked by a goose, and he'd have a whole show. Nothing but bloopers, man. That was great.
Running his boats over, anything like that. If it could happen, he breaking poles left and right.
Yeah, that was great. And he'd have several shows of just bloopers.
Yeah.
So we got Mr. Scooty still here. Jennifer Young came back a little bit. Fox Company prepping.
Yeah, my chat is lagging so bad I haven't been able to keep up at all tonight, guys. But hopefully, at least some people have enjoyed some of the bushcraft ramblings that we've had. And
yeah, I have to keep refreshing too, but it seems like people are having a good time.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to do something in the spirit of Northwest Nature Calls, and that is we're going to give away some goodies. And not only in the spirit of Northwest Nature Calls, but I also want to say that this is in the spirit of Mr. Mike Bushcraft Barton, who has started a excellent Woodsman Samaritan video series. And I want to give away these bits of cordage. We got the paracord, the number 36 bank line, and the hank of number 60 bank line, and then one of these wonderful 5x7 Walmart tarps. And I'm hoping that someone will enjoy them, and they'll go out and they'll try and do some bushcrafting, and they'll set up their tarp and maybe try some different stuff, building and so on and so forth. So I think that you guys might have to help me out with this one because my chat's lagging so bad. But anyone that's interested in being in a quick drawing for the giveaway on that, just type the number 1 into your chat box, and I'll write down some names, and we'll just do a quick random giveaway thing before the end of the chat. I don't know if one of you guys can help me out with my dilapidated chat.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on it. Like I said, I have to keep refreshing it too. I was just reading what Mike Galusha put. He put cool.
Cool.
Mike Galusha is the last comment I have. Living like Americans do.
It's way farther than that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
an eye on it.
I got cool on mine with Mike.
Yep.
Yeah. So, do you guys have any upcoming bushcraft type videos that you're going to do? I mean, we know that Stan's got his bush lab thing going on. Anybody else have some upcoming stuff?
I think I wanted to take that hobo stove that I have that like converts into a bunch of different stuff, and I kind of wanted to do like a whole breakfast. Go out there and make some bacon and eggs and some toast and everything, and you know, there's a lot of prepping with the wood when you have them things. You want to have everything ready because it's when the fire dies down on it, and it's just like shutting off your fuel, you know. So you constantly want to have them little sticks or split up pieces to keep it going, especially if you're going to do some bacon and eggs and stuff. So I think I might try some campfire cooking, some outdoor cooking videos.
Nice. It's kind of funny you would just say that. I was tagged by Mike the Bushcrafter to do a bushcraft breakfast, and Aiden and I just shot one. So that was actually what I was going to say. My next video was, and then I tag a couple of people in there, and all the people who were tagged in that are either in this chat or in this panel.
Awesome.
Yep.
As far as future plans for my channel, or at least videos, I was just thinking the other day, I don't think that, well, I know it's not realistic at the moment that I'm going to be able to do the Appalachian Trail anytime soon, just because of my situation. So I guess it's still going to be my, my focus of my journey, but also part of it, or a big part of it, is just learning as I go, which I've learned from all of you. But like I did that video of the woodworking, the stuff that I've been working on. I don't know, I've fallen in love pretty quickly with this, so I'm going to keep doing those sorts of things. And I do, before this summer's out, which is in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to take my two sons out to the state park here and do a wild camp with them before school gets back up and going. So I'll have that video to do. And then, I don't know what, actually another idea, I don't know what you guys think, but I did my 100 sub giveaway so long ago and then hit a bunch of bumps in the road, and I haven't been able to do the drawing for it. And now I'm pretty close to 250. So I'm thinking about maybe having another contest, combining the two. Everybody that already made the video is already entered. Maybe if you want to make another one, I'll give you 2 entries, but up the ante, get some new prizes. And that way, I can kind of put them both in since I'm at the next milestone. What do you guys think of that? Hello?
Yeah, that's cool, man. I mean, I know that most of the people that, at least, I mean, I watched a lot of the video responses to your channel, and I mean, again, it's really just, it's to show the support of your channel and to go out and have a good time. I mean, I don't think anyone's like, gonna be mad at you that you don't do the giveaway drawing. I mean, it's all about supporting your channel. So
it's just been a while, and it's something that's bothering me. So I thought maybe, I didn't know. It's just something that crossed my mind, so I wanted to throw it out there. Maybe I'll just do the drawing tonight, post it tomorrow, and then I'll do a whole new one again and make you wait 3 months for that drawing.
Yeah, I have to be honest. Other than the tagged video, I was going to do a subscriber giveaway thing, but I just can't. I know what goes into it and how much resources that it takes and time that it takes to view people's videos and respond and so on and so forth. And I just feel as though, like, as far as the subscriber appreciation giveaway, right now is not a good time for me to do one. But I am going to subscribe and partake in the Samaritan Woodsman idea that Mike Barton has started, and I urge you all to maybe go and just watch those couple videos with that in the title and see what you think. And I did win some prizes from his challenge, the knife carving challenge. So I do have that video that I have to post. I was just waiting to get an item in the mail, but I'll have that coming up soon too. So you know, it'll be fun. But like you said too, Shane, it's almost like a race to school time here. Like how much more summery fun stuff can you get in with the kids before they're getting on the school buses?
It's creeping up for me at least. It's like 3 weeks from now. So there's not much time at all, really.
Yeah, we go back the 28th. So, yep. But in any case, I'm going to. These are the names that I have, and I'll give everybody just one last chance. I have number 1, Mr. Scooty. This is no apparent order. It's just the parent that I wrote. The order I wrote it down in. Number 2, Fox Company. Number 3, Northwest Nature. Number 4, Resist the Tyranny. Number 5, Joel. Number 6, Frogger. Number 7, Mikey D. So we got seven entries. There they are, right there. We'll give everybody a last roll call. Type in a 1 in the comment section if you want to, or the word 1. That's right, because you can't just be one digit. If you want to get in on the drawing for some basic bushcraft goodies and just a little appreciation from all of us panel members.
I think we might all have everybody subbed that's on here, but just a reminder, if you guys see a name on here that you don't recognize, check them out, sub them. What was it? The Dave, what was his, Dave Camper?
Dave Camping.
Dave Camping.
Yeah.
I didn't have him, so.
I didn't either. I got him subbed up. I didn't have Fox Company prepping
Will the
either.
comments stay up here after the chat?
Yes.
Yeah, they will.
Stay? Good.
Yep, they'll be underneath the video once it posts to YouTube.
Never write anything down. It'll be there forever.
And ever.
Yeah, Fox Company, I got you, buddy. So, yeah, and on that, Daryl, too, I just recently learned, not that, probably everybody knows this, but if you just hover your cursor or arrow over the person's name in the chat, it will bring up their little box that you can click the subscribe button on right there, so it makes it real easy to just, wander over there with the mouse and click subscribe.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. You can do that in the comments on any video, too, if you see a name that you haven't seen before. I just discovered that a couple of weeks ago. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, one of the things that Google Plus / YouTube have gotten right in the last few months.
Well, hey, this chat's gone off without a hitch for the first time, I think.
Oh, I know. I'm waiting for lightning strikes or something. I'm like,
yeah, exactly.
What's going on? Well, I'm going to meander on over to random.org here. Daryl, can you click on my icon and so everyone can see it, and let me know when you see it. Oh, wait a minute. See, I knew I would
crashes.
Yeah, I knew I would mess up something. All right, let's try this again. Start screen share. There we go. Bam. How's that look? More better?
Yep.
Perfect.
Right. So we have 7 people, and so I'm just going to take this little 7, and I'll do it the way that I saw Jen Young do it. I'm going to click this 3 times, and the 3rd time will be the winner. So here's number 1, number 2, and the winner is number 1. That would be a Mr. Scooty 1968. Yay!
Congratulations.
Yes, sir, buddy. So Scott, Mr. Secretive mailing address person, PM me your details.
Yeah, how'd you get my address? Something fishy's going on.
Wasn't me.
What'd you say there, Wyndham?
What? I didn't say nothing.
I didn't either. I don't know what you're talking
Wait a
about.
minute. Lightning. Oh, I gotta go, guys. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know you don't.
Hey, Jen just threw out a comment. Said, "Dang, Chris is going expert." Whoop whoop. I had to practice the random.org thing a few times before we started the chat. I do have to admit that. So anyway, we haven't discussed what we're going to chat about next week, guys, but I personally am getting close to having to rock and roll. So I just wanted to say that I really appreciate everybody on the panel here. As always, it's awesome to chat with you guys face to face because watching videos is awesome, but chatting live is like almost like we're all sitting around having that campfire chat.
Yeah,
And,
this is awesome.
Yeah,
Yep.
and great giveaway. I think next week, I think it's I got something that I want to throw out there. So
Me too.
Oh, awesome, dude.
yeah,
Awesome.
Me too. It'll be a surprise.
Yeah, we can PM each other after this is over because I was wondering how we could do that,
Yep.
as a group and like have
Yeah.
either a central point to donate to, or however we agree to do it. Either
Yeah.
we do it individually, each of us do one, or send it all into one person, and you know where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And again, it was started by Bruce. I think it was a couple chats ago when he went to to a local like Goodwill or whatever, and he got this Boy Scout canteen and decided to give it away, and that was just sweet, awesome thing for Bruce Northwest Nature Calls to do, and then it also goes with the thing I want to do with Mike Bushcraft Barton. So it's really no big deal. I have a couple of these tarpies, and I got more bank line and paracord than I know what to do with. So
Awesome.
hopefully Scotty will put them to good use.
I
I'm
want
sure
to
he will.
I want to say something before we go. I know I got this from bought this from Scott, and I know I said several times it was so nice that I didn't want to use it. And I know, Chris, you said it, and Mr. Scooty said that they're made to be used. Me and my wife got talking, and she's like, the stuff you get, you should use because you never know when your last day is going to be, or
Yeah.
it wasn't vindictive like she was going to kill me, but I mean, it's like you never know, and you don't want to just keep stuff and not use it, and then look back and be like, man, I wish I would have used that thing, So
Did you use it?
not yet.
Oh,
I haven't
What is
even
the
played
matter?
with it yet, but it's gonna be.
He said the same thing.
I think I might be able.
My
This
sister,
thing's so big.
actually.
I think I might be able to get water started on fire with it.
Probably.
Well, that's a good point. Hey, Chris will understand what I'm talking about because he subs to the Windshire Man too, Wiltshire Man. And if I ever am fortunate enough to own a Jack Lord knife, I sit there and fantasize about that all the time, and I'm wondering if I'm ever going to be able to actually use it.
Yeah, I feel you. I would love to have
Because to me,
one.
they're just works of art.
Oh, I'm with you 100%, man.
Yeah, it would be hard for me to ever use it if I got one.
I'd sleep with it.
Yeah,
I was
there's
gonna
a
say
certain. Go ahead.
Scooty's fire seals too. He said, "Nah, just use them because I wasn't sure if I was gonna use it either. But actually, this one with the Scottish deer antler, my sister was over here when I received the package and opened it, and she actually was the first one to use it, and it was the first time she had ever used a ferrule rod, and she got a fire within like I think 3 strikes. So it was awesome, and it was the first time she ever wanted or ever had used one, and it was Mr. Scooty's. Well,
Oh, that's
mine
killer,
now.
man.
But
That
yeah,
is killer.
they are awesome.
That's for when Chris rides his bicycle.
Someone, someone we know might have sent this to me. Let's see if it comes out this time. Be seen. Be safe. Ah! And be snapped by it. The lost footage. But yeah, hey, you know who else is making something like a jackalore knife? Well, let's not put him in that same category. That I would have a hard time using is Mr. Randy Buzzard,
Yeah,
who's
Oh man, yeah.
definitely.
yeah, those axes are just like, I mean, you could hold one up to your face and like shave with that thing. There's so much reflection coming off.
Yeah, they are beautiful.
And you know what? I think that I said that too. That if I wanted, I'd probably put it on a wall. But you know what? After talking to a bunch of people and my wife and everything, I'm going to use it. It was made to be used, and like I said, I don't want to look back and say, man, why didn't I use that thing? I mean, if you have it, if you don't use it, it's like you don't even have it. You know?
Yeah.
Well, then it's
I
an
actually-
ornament. It's an ornament then, you know, but it's hard though. So, when something's so pretty, it's hard. Once you get that first mark on it, it makes it a lot easier. But up until that point,
I'll tell you what I'll do for you, Stan. If you ever get a jackalore, just send it up here to Maine. I'll put a couple of marks on it for you. I'll send it back down to you. Yeah, I actually I talked to Randy too. I wanted to mention that after I did his VR, and he's like, I can't believe you're not gonna be in the drawing of my contest. And I'm like, man, I wasn't saying it to hurt his feelings. So I guess Randy's gonna put me in the contest. And I said, if I do win, then I'll try it out, and then maybe I'll pay it forward or something. But I'm pretty excited for him. I'm excited for Scott, Mr. Scooty, 1968. Oh, Daryl just. Daryl, can you send Mr. Scooty an invite? He asked if he could be invited to the panel for
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Let me
Awesome.
tell him to check his PM.
Check his PM. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, because I don't know if he's in my. Can you do that thing?
I can do it.
Yeah.
Mr. Scooty.
I get to breaking stuff.
Mr. Scooty says the jackalores are about 180 pound. So what's that? That's what, 270 or so?
Yeah, I was gonna say 260. I don't know. I sent you a PM with the link, Scooty.
Yeah, I mean they're a few minutes behind us as far as the delay and what they're watching, but it's definitely pretty cool to see all like the handmade stuff on YouTube. It's totally awesome.
I watched that Bushcraft Barton, and he had that Mora Black, the video he did on that.
Yep.
That was a pretty cool video there.
I actually was gonna share this with you guys tonight, but I just never posted it. But I actually last March, this past March, a few months ago, I actually bought one of these Mora Bushcraft Blacks, and it's killer. They are an amazing knife. Uh-oh. There's a crazy European in the house.
In his underwear.
No, his kilt.
With a lathe.
In the pantry with a lathe. Yeah.
Right, fellas.
Hello.
Hey, buddy.
What I want to do, you keep doing these giveaways on here. So for next week, as you can see, I've got a few deals.
Oh my goodness.
All right, hold on. Let me click on. Show it again one more time, Scott. There you go.
That's a few I've been making. So Doug had the first one off the lathe. That's the Coca-Cola one, the second one that I made.
I love that one.
Give that one away next week.
Ooh.
That is beautiful wood.
It's a bit larger handle. Nice and
Wow,
smooth, nice and shiny. So
You heard it here, folks.
Stick that down for next week. I'll post it anywhere in the world as usual. So I'll stick that one by. Give that away next week.
Hey,
Wow,
Scott,
Scott.
what was that purple looking one?
That one.
What was that?
Yeah, what is that?
that?
It's acrylic.
Oh, cool.
I've made. That's one in woodland camo.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
pretty cool.
That's one in desert camo.
Did you turn those on your lathe?
Yep.
Cool.
Another one. All acrylics. I was just playing around.
Yeah, those are awesome.
Yeah, I've got one or two.
Jennifer Young says, gorgeous. I think she was talking about me, but I don't know.
That's me.
Hey, Scott, what is the oil that you put on the wood?
Hey, I know that guy.
Oh, yeah,
Hey,
Jennifer
Scott,
Young loves purple.
hey, Scott, you need to check.
Have it.
Scott, you need to check the messages after this because several people on here are wanting them.
Yeah, I can't see messages at the minute. I'm on Google Hangouts.
Right.
Yeah, but people are the ones you're showing. It's like a bidding war going on.
Yeah.
Well,
I say Jennifer Young should get dibs on the purple one because that's what she's all about is the purple.
I've got a few more woods that came this morning.
Nice.
Cocobolo, palmwood, olive wood, all sorts.
Speckly. I like that word. It's kind of like knobbly.
That's another knobbly, yeah. That's another purple one there.
That's beautiful, man.
Messing about with. I thought I'd do a few for the ladies, see? Lady bushcrafters. I've also got some in pink I'm going to do.
Nice.
So yeah, I just wanted to... Lost it now. Yeah, I just want to say give that one away next week.
Scott, man, that is incredibly generous of you.
Yeah, it is.
Really appreciate that, brother.
All right.
Randy Buzzard just showed up in the comments. What kind of wood is that on the one that you're going to give away, Scott?
That's Cocobolo.
Okay. I'm really liking the grain on that thing. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's nice. Most of them are now, you know. You can look at things like that.
Yeah, that's cool too. Damn.
Yeah, I love the grain pattern.
Oh,
Jennifer Young says that she will fight anyone for that purple one, and that she gets very, what did she say? Possessive sometimes.
That one already belongs
Gravity.
to somebody. That one does belong to somebody, I'm afraid. That belongs to Helen from Shark Designs. She'll be taking that one in 2 weeks' time at the World Book Gathering.
Nice. Man, I can't wait for you guys to go to the Wilderness Gathering. I think I'm more excited than some of the people that are going.
It will be a really good weekend. It's the
I feel the
Thursday,
same way.
Friday, Saturday,
I'm
and
so
Sunday.
excited about that first Bushcraft show. I was excited for. Now, yeah, I get to live through this now too, vicariously.
There's a lot of YouTubers going. Like Stan, your parachute will be up. There will be a lot of people. There
That'd
will
be
be a
cool.
lot of people under it. Your favourite YouTuber has told me he will be coming for a beer. Sandy.
Awesome.
Yeah, I knew that would bring a smile to your face. Right, I'm going to hop
Sandy
out.
is
Well,
awesome.
just be sure to tell him I said hello.
I will. I'll give him your love. Don't worry.
Yeah, nice wet lickery kiss.
Oh! I'm not going that far. Right, I'm going to skip out then and go back to YouTube. See you all later.
Sweet
Nice
dreams,
job.
brother.
See you later.
There goes one I can't speak right now. Generally awesome dude.
Agree.
Absolutely.
I'm eating some of this sweet teriyaki from Doug's homeland. So this is for you, Mr. Doug, Piper Outdoors. In honor
Nice.
of you.
I thought you'd be eating something
I'm
else.
saving
tonight.
mine. I'm saving mine
this?
for my deer stand.
Oh yeah. Open it up.
I can't be eating that if Dougie's not in the crowd.
Yeah.
So what do you think, guys? We'll wrap this up for a show.
Yeah, I'm already going to get in trouble, but it was a lot of fun, guys. A lot of fun.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, everyone in the audience, for your comments.
Yes. You guys over there on the side panel rock. It was a lot of fun.
Yep. I didn't get to say hi to Randy. I didn't comment. Hi, Randy.
Hi, Randy. I didn't either.
Steelers suck. I mean, hi,
Your what
Randy.
hurt? Your what hurt? Couldn't tell.
Oh, it's good fun.
They may
Yeah. So
hear again.
All right, everybody say your goodbyes. I'm going to stop the broadcast here in a minute.
All right.
Peace
Good
out.
night, folks.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good week.
take care, y'all.
See ya.
Peace and bacon.